Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for joining on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon here in Pennsylvania. Hope y'all are having a great day. It's Dan from the training department. It's 2 o'clock. We'll give it an extra minute or two if we have any last minute folks here. I'd like to give them an opportunity to join as well. We do have a nice sized crowd, so just be patient and I'll get started here in a minute. Alrighty, folks, we're going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, if you're just joining us now, my name's Dan from our training team here in the Schuylkill Haven office. And today's webinar is Know the Departments. So this is meant for a very general, high-level overview of each department to hopefully give everybody a little better understanding of what each department has to offer and how we all make up one Evans network. So to get started here, our objectives for today. So I kind of said this already a little bit, right? We want to understand each department and services that they have to offer. We also want to provide a little bit of knowledge and overview of each department. Now, each department here has about 3 or 4 bullet points. Again, high-level overview of that department. It doesn't have the 101 tasks on it that every single department handles. So today we're going to be focusing primarily on our Evans offices, right? But that being said, I do want to show you this map here that has all of our different office locations, as a lot of agents work with different sister companies as well, right? So while we aren't necessarily talking about ARC Transit or Packard or Great Wide today, I thought it would be beneficial and valuable for everybody to see those office locations, just again to get a general idea of where we are across the country, right? So in Schuylkill Haven, Pennsylvania, we do have our 2 Evans offices. We have, I'll say, our main office location that we outgrew. And then right down the road, about 3 blocks down the street, we have another building that houses most of our safety teams. In Fort Mill, South Carolina, we also have a safety team. And in Peachtree City, Georgia, we have 2 office locations. And Jacksonville, Florida, there is an office as well. And then we move into West Motor Freight and DM Transportation. They're located about an hour down the road from us in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. Great Wide is primarily focused in Langhorne, Pennsylvania, about an hour and a half from our Schuylkill Haven office, about 20 to 25 minutes outside of Philadelphia. And then we also have a location in Mooresville, North Carolina. Packard Transport and Packard Logistics are in Shanahan, Illinois. We have ARC Transit in Wilmington, North Carolina. Rail Plus is in Jacksonville, Florida. And we have New Age Logistics, which is in Chicago and Palatine, Illinois. Okay, my man Gabe just told me that my screen wasn't shared. So let me go back and we'll restart because I guess my screen never went through. So I apologize for that, and that's why we got multiple folks on here to kind of let us know when stuff isn't working right. Gotta love technology sometimes. I hope everyone can see my screen the second time I tried to share it. So now we got our Know the Department slide, right? So I kind of talked through this already, but let's backtrack a little bit, right? We have our objective, right? Understand each department and services that they have to offer. Like I said, just want to provide some general knowledge and overview of each department, not the 101 different things, and tasks that every single department does. And this is where I was rambling on about our office locations that y'all couldn't even see. So, like I said, in Schuylkill Haven, we have our 2 offices along with Fort Mill, South Carolina, and 2 in Peachtree City, Georgia, along with 1 in Jacksonville, Florida. Then we have about an hour down the road, West Motor Freight and DM Transportation in Boyertown, Pennsylvania, and Great Wide, primarily focused in Langhorne, Pennsylvania, along with our small location in Mooresville, North Carolina. We have Packard Transport and Packard Logistics in Shanahan, Illinois, ARC Transit in Wilmington, North Carolina. We have our Rail Plus sister company in Jacksonville, Florida. And we have a few different New Age Logistics locations. Just recently, I say recently, about over the last 6 months to a year, have opened offices in Marietta, Georgia, as well as Lakeland, Florida, to expand their operations solely out of Illinois. Next slide here, and I'll hold these up for a few minutes even after I'm done speaking through them, just in case anybody wants to take a screenshot or write down some general information on who to contact within the departments, right? So here is our team leads for each department. So we have our onboarding department, and that is Stacy Weichel. Our settlement team there is led by Jennifer Mangle. Our IT team is led by Carla Velasky. And we have our training team here led by Gabriel Marrero. Our chassis team is led by Wendy G. Accounting is led by Brian Fry, and per diem by Zachary Moffat. Again, go ahead and jot down any info you need. And our credit is Karen Claycomb. Laura Smith handles our collections. Cash Apps is Amy Tucker. Dave Brannon is equipment. And Kathy Furman is our loss control. On the next one here, we have our driver qualifications leading the way with Chrissy Burns. Permits, supplies, plates, that's going to go through Debbie Raymond. Compliance is Tom Burke. Our field safety director there is Mr. Robert Lane. 4 hours of service, Crystal Bubek. For Jacksonville safety, so for our Railport and E-Trans folks on the call, your onboarding manager there is Monique Stevens. And your capacity development manager is Kathy Matten. Our Evans Network Human Resources Vice President is Jennifer Bean. For Customer Solutions and Contracts, we have Mr. Matt McCoy. For Carrier Solutions, we have Sue Schuenthaler. And rounding it out, we have our sales folks. For Dre Sales, we have Ryan Bates. And for over-the-road sales, we have Andy Pyatt. And again, I can totally let that up there for a few more seconds if anyone wants to jot down those contacts. Moving right along, our first department slide, and our first department is our onboarding team. So a little bit about our onboarding team. They handle agent agreements and contracts. They organize agents' trips to the corporate office for training. They help the agents with marketing materials. They're going to be your general support, your general backbone for the first 90 days that you're on with us. And they're going to audit your agent commission for the first 90 days again, just to make sure everything's going smooth, everybody's making money, everybody's happy, right? Our settlement team, they're the folks that are going to make sure your trucks and drivers and you guys as agents are paid. So they're going to go ahead and finalize both agent and driver weekly settlements. They're going to issue EFS money codes as needed. They also help with auditing weekly settlements for any errors or problems. They set up truck and driver fuel cards. So once you have a new truck and driver that needs to get up and running, you can go ahead and send them a copy of that fuel card and let them know which truck it's for, and it will help get that set up for you. And they'll also assist with any billing corrections that might be needed. Our IT team, so they are going to set up our agents in our portals and systems. The tech deck team is there for support and troubleshooting. They handle all EDI, so electronic data interchange between companies, and help get that connected. They work to deploy system updates and improvements. And one of the more important things that sometimes is forgotten is network security. So definitely our backbone there to make sure there's no malware or anything going on anybody's computers. Next, we have our training team. So the training team offers training for all portal systems, both in-house here at our Schuylkill Haven location or on-site at our agent locations. We host weekly webinars for agents and employees. We can help agents recruit and hire employees with advertising. In the past, Kim has posted some jobs for agents, that might need another billing rep or another dispatch person if you're expanding on Indeed or other kind of posting sites. We assist in auditing the agent commission, again, making sure everything looks good, and we host our Evans University workshops. At the bottom of each, you do see there are group emails attached as well. So for onboarding, we have agent onboarding at evansdelivery.com. For settlements, we have Evans Settlements at evansdelivery.com. For IT, we have tech_deck at evansdelivery.com. And for training, we have training department at evansdelivery.com. Moving right along, our next department feature starts with our chassis department. Chassis department is going to address all legitimate chassis invoices. They're going to dispute invalid invoices within 30 days of the date of the invoice. They help maintain valid interchanges with chassis providers. They provide annual insurance updates for chassis providers. And they can assist with agents who are wanting to lease chassis, so chassis agent fulfillment. Our accounting team, they record and report business transactions. They handle all company finances. They deal with all broker payments. And they work hand in hand with our safety team when the time comes to release truck escrow. Next, we have per diem, maintenance and repair, and tolls. They're going to address all legitimate per diem, M&R, and toll violation invoices. Dispute invalid invoices, again within 30 days of the date of the invoice. They maintain valid interchanges with steamship lines. And they provide annual insurance updates for our steamship lines. Next, we have our credit and collections department. Credit team is going to assist with setting up new customers in the system. They work with agents and customers to resolve disputes. The team approves customer credit limits. They verify that invoices are being billed correctly. And they assist with increasing customer credit limits if needed. And again, at the bottom there, we do have those group email addresses. So definitely go ahead and jot those down if you need to. So for chassis, we have our general email, which is chassisTeam@evansdelivery.com. And if you're looking to lease chassis, you would email the equip lease chassis at evansdelivery.com. For accounting, the email is accounting2@evansdelivery.com. Don't ask me why that 2 is in there, but that's the email. For per diem @evansdelivery.com. And then for credit, it's creditdepartment@evansdelivery.com. And for collections, it's collectionsdepartment@evansdelivery.com. Moving right along, we have our next 4 departments, starting with our Cash App and Customer Billing Department. They're going to key in the daily deposits for Evans, West Motor Freight, and DM Transportation. They handle customer web billing and statement billing. They ensure invoices are being billed at the agreed upon rates. And they will assist in revising invoices as needed. Next up to bat, we have our equipment fulfillment team. So our equipment team does equipment fulfillment for agents and independent contractors. They mainly focus on the domestic side, right? So vans and flatbeds. And their goal is to support agents and ICs with flexible and efficient hook-on equipment at a reasonable cost. And that team looks over our Evans Network fuel program. Next up, we have Loss Control. Loss Control is a 24/7 phone hotline. They handle all accidents, incidents, and injury reporting. One of their sayings is, doesn't matter how major or how minor, an incident or accident may be, please let your drivers know to call them from the spot. So they can, feeding into my next bullet point there, is work with the insurance companies on accident details and getting those claims filed in a timely manner. Moving right along, we have our first department of many regarding our safety. We have our driver qualification team, and they are responsible for processing and hiring all trucks and drivers. They're also going to terminate trucks and drivers when an exit report is received, and they are going to issue insurances for trucks and drivers wanting to use our programs. And again, as always, we do have those group emails there as well. So if you're not sure who to directly contact, you can email that group and somebody will get back to you. So for Cash App and customer billing, we have Cash Apps at evansdelivery.com. For equipment, we have Equip Lease at evansdelivery.com. For our loss control team, loss control at evansdelivery.com. And for safety qualification, we have safety driver qual at evansdelivery.com. Next up to bat in our row of safety departments is our plate group. So the plate team is going to issue truck registrations for all Evans and West Motor ICs using our plate program. They handle both Evans and West truck registration renewals, and they connect with state DMV to issue trucks plates and send them to the IC. Moving along, we have our permit and supply team there, and they are going to issue permits for trucks as needed. Some examples there are overweight liquor and hazmat. They handle IFTA reporting and mileage reports. So if you ever need to know, a mileage report, you can go to the permit request team and they can help pull that for you for the truck. And they send supplies to agents as requested. So each agent, in your safety documents, there is a supply order form, and you can fill out that supply order form. When you need more supplies, email it over to our safety supplies at evansdelivery.com, and then we'll get those supplies out the door for you. Next, we have our compliance and field safety teams. They are going to ensure drivers are following DOT regulations. They handle roadside violations and driver reviews. They will give the agents notice of expiring documents that need to be updated. So a driver's medical or CDL is going to expire, they can go ahead and let you know ahead of time. That way you're not finding out at the last minute. And they host driver safety meetings. So they'll come around to your different states and put on a great driver safety meeting to benefit the drivers and try to help them keep those roadside violations to a minimal. Our next safety team there is our hours of service, also sometimes called our logs group. And they ensure drivers are using their ELD correctly and taking the necessary breaks. They handle paper logs that are turned in to stay in accordance with DOT standards. And they will communicate with your drivers when an ELD isn't working properly or a driver is out of compliance. And that is safety logs at evansdelivery.com. And like I said, we do have the rest of those other safety group emails listed below as well. So if you need to go ahead and jot any of those down, definitely go ahead and do so. And our final department slide here, our final four, starting off with human resources. So human resources, more on the employee side here for Evans. They handle employee relations, compensation and benefits, recruiting and retaining employees, employee compliance, and employee payroll. Next group we have is our customer solutions and contracts team. And they help with customer and carrier profiles. They can also assist with customer conflict resolution. Customer support and engagement. Customer document review and execution. Interchange agreements and risk management. For customer solutions, there it is customer.solutions@evansdelivery.com. And for the contracts team, it's contracts@evansdelivery.com. For our carrier solutions group, also formerly was known before as our carrier pay team, Carrier Solutions does new vendor and carrier intake and setup for Evans and West. They facilitate carrier pay problem resolution for broker operations. They support our load board registrations and setup. So if you're ever interested in load board access for debt or internet truck stop, there are forms under the resources that you can fill out on the agent portal and send over to the carrier pay team. And they oversee intercompany operation connection between Evans and West, aka a lot of our intercompany moves they help facilitate and handle. And last but not least, we have our sales team. Sales team primarily focuses on freight diversification, pricing support, identifying target markets. They handle specific inbound, outbound calls from or to customers. And they help with identifying and growing undeveloped customers. And again, if anybody needs any of those group emails, definitely go ahead and feel free to grab them. And last but not least, when it comes to our sales team, we do have two different maps. So this is our domestic dray sales and agent relations team. So Ryan Bates is the Vice President of Sales and Agency Relations. And he has all these fine folks out in the field there that help our agents get the help that they need when it comes to sales and relations. I'll hold this up here for a few seconds. So if you do want to grab your sales agent's contact information in your area, you can definitely go ahead and do so. Alrighty, and on our last sales slide here, we have our truckload sales and agent relations team as well, overseen by Andy Pyatt, who is also Vice President of Sales and Agency Relations. And again, I can totally hold this slide up here if you're in the truckload flatbed markets and would like to grab your salesperson's information. And that's it, guys. Does anybody have any questions or comments on any departments? Does anybody want to see any slide over again? If anybody wants the team lead slides up again to grab that information, definitely let me know. I'll be more than happy to put those back up. All right, Kaylee, I can definitely send you that slide over. No problem. Thank you. I will jot that down. If anybody would like to ask a question, let me know. There is a raise hand button. I can totally unmute you, and you can go ahead and ask your question. Or if you have a question and would like to type it into the questions box, you are more than welcome to do so. This little last slide here is when you come into Schuylkill Haven, for those of you who have never ventured here, which is probably most of you, there is a small little Evans Delivery Company sign under the Welcome to Schuylkill Haven billboard type thing, right? So kind of neat. It's a really small town here, but it's kind of cool how Schuylkill Haven recognizes the impact that Evans has on the community. And then the picture to the right is the corporate building. So our corporate office here in Schuylkill Haven, where most of our departments are housed. And like I said, we did outgrow this building. And down the street is our safety building, which opened its doors right before COVID in 2020. Yep. So, Amanda, sure thing. Yeah, I can totally go back. So, first we showed our different office locations across the country. And then we went through two different slides of our department team leads. So if there's any department who you're ever like, who do I contact, or I don't know that group email, who's the main contact in that group, I can go ahead and grab their email here. So if you want to see the other one too, I can definitely flip that in a few seconds. Y'all are a quiet group today. A lot of attendees, but very quiet. And I'll go ahead here and flip to the next one here. A lot of the safety side is on this slide here, along with some of our contracts, customer solutions, carrier team, and sales. You are quite welcome, Amanda. Thank you for the question and happy to help. If anybody else would like a copy of this or whatever it might be, feel free to reach out. Training department at evansdelivery.com is our group email, or you can reach me directly. First name Daniel, last name Doyle, so daniel.doyle at evansdelivery.com, and I'm more than happy to go ahead. Hey, Debbie Lawrence, how are you? I see you got your hand raised. I just unmuted you.
There you go. Hey, is this going to be available online? Like we could have some of our folks look at it later?
I can totally try to get it somewhere. Right now, it's not publicized like on the agent portal or anything like that. Um, but I can do my best to see if we can maybe put it in resources or something. And I can also send you a copy of it, Debbie, if you want to share it with anyone.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Great job.
Thank you, Debbie. Appreciate it. As always, thanks for joining. Debbie is one of our sales folks down in the great state of Texas area. We love having her on. She's one of our frequents here on the webinar, so thank you as always, Debbie, for joining. Brandy, I can definitely go ahead and send over those sales maps. No problem at all. Maribel, how are you? I hope Houston's treating you well. Thanks for joining. It's been a long time since I've got to see you. Haven't been down to the great state of Texas recently. Hopefully get back there soon. I'm not telling you when I'm coming, though. Just going to pop in and surprise you. All right, folks. Well, I appreciate everybody joining today. Like I said, if anybody was a little shy and didn't want to ask a question but has a question to ask, definitely feel free to go ahead and email us at any time, trainingdepartment@evansdelivery.com, and we are more than happy to help. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the sunshine if you have some in your area. Thanks all. Bye-bye.